Enzo Ferrari once famously said that if you ask a child to draw a car, he will most likely paint it red. If you ask a European child from the early 2000s to draw a motorcycle, this might be it. This is the 2007 Honda Hornet 600. Yes, you heard me right, this is from 2007, but as you can see, the design is very contemporary and it doesn't look that it aged that much. Apart from the headlight, which might do with a refresh, with an LED conversion, otherwise, as you can see, has a very nice tank, very nice subframe, and a screaming inline 4. An inline 4 which is a dying breed nowadays. Replaced by parallel twins in terms of emissions and regulations, but in the used market you can find these at a steal, and you're looking at one of my personal bikes. I chose this bike for several reasons, practicality and ease of use for one, and a screaming, as I said, inline 4 which you cannot beat. It has an amazing soundtrack, as you will see in the review. Overall it's a very nice bike. It looks the part. Nothing much to add. It's a very simplistic design from you can say a bygone era, but the design it's still holding on to current times. Welcome back to Gear, Wrench and Rome, my channel. This is the first of hopefully a series of reviews where I will be reviewing my own motorcycles and some new / second-hand stock from a local Maltese motorcycle dealer. We're going to do a collaboration, so stay tuned for that. But to get to grips in reviewing such bikes, I'm testing out on my own bikes first. As I said, this is my personal bike. I added some touches to make it a bit more fitting to my style. I added this GV or GV, however you want to call it, windscreen. It protects a bit the chest and lower head area from wind noise. I added these fairings from Barracuda. It's an Italian company. I wasn't really a fan of the exposed frame of the Hornet, so I decided to cover them up with these elegant fairings, which do a pretty good job. As you can see over here, I added as well some crash protection, for obvious reasons. Otherwise, this is as stock as it gets. The only thing I did on the bike is an oil change in my, almost 9 months of ownership, and I changed the brake pads, which you can find a video of in the channel down below. Otherwise, as I already mentioned, it's a very particular bike. This is the middleweight naked bike and from the early 2000s. As I said, this is a 2007 bike. Okay, let's go over some specs of the bike. It has an inline 4 which develops 102 brake horsepower at around 11,000 RPM, 53 Newton meters of torque, which it develops at around 10,500. So as you can see, you need to raise those RPMs to enjoy to its full potential, but one flip side of that is that it can be pretty much used for commuting. It is a very docile engine at around 5,000–6,000 RPM, where that is the RPM band that you're going to enjoy whilst commuting. It has 41mm upside down forks, which at the time they were something special to set up on a bike. Nowadays they come pretty much standard. It has a 17-liter tank, which can give you plenty of miles to enjoy those roads. It has a muted exhaust, but when it sings, it sings. What can I say? It is a very practical bike. I use it daily for commuting, but whenever I feel like taking it out on a Sunday morning, I can pretty much enjoy it as well as a regular sports bike. It has a racing pedigree, so it has a 180 back tire so that it can grip in those difficult corners, but otherwise it has a very comfortable seat. I can plant both legs on the ground whenever I'm at a stoplight, so it is basically bike for everybody. Fuel calipers up front, disc brakes of around 296 millimeters, coupled with an axial brake pump. I think it gets the job done pretty well. Okay, so there you have it, just a brief overview of the bike that we're gonna test now, and as I said, my personal bike. Let's go over for the driven portion of the test. I hope you enjoy this, and don't forget to give constructive criticism to these videos, and if you wish to see more of this, just drop a like and give me a subscribe. It will help tremendously. So, see you on the road, guys. Okay, let's go. Let's begin this review by talking about the comfort on the Hornet 2007. As you can see, we're in moving traffic, and I can say that the seat is quite pliable. It's quite low. I can easily 2-foot the bike when I'm standing still. I'm around 175 centimeters tall, and what can I say? It's a very nice place to be. As you can see, the handlebars are quite wide with a very gentle curve to them. It's nothing exaggerated. The controls feel right at home. After all, it's a classic Hornet, and the experience is quite enjoyable, quite pliable. Okay, suspensions take most of the brunt on these Maltese roads, which are by far some of the worst roads here in Europe. But the upside down forks in front and the mono at the back make a very good job to dampen these potholes. I regularly use this as my commute bike, and I find that it cuts traffic by almost half, if not more. It's very nimble, very agile. It has a low center of gravity, but it twists quite well in order to get around cars and whatnot. The geometry is quite good for a naked bike, which, as I told you already, it's coming from 2007, so it has a bit of years on its shoulders, but it doesn't really dampen. What this bike is all about. Proper inline 4. If you've ever managed to ride the CBR 600R, this is what it's coming from. This is the first motorbike from Honda with fuel injection instead of carburetors. It makes it for a very trouble-free experience. The engine is quite revvy, it likes to rev, but in the low RPMs it's quite subtle. Nothing crazy, no mind-bending torque. But when you give it the beans, it usually goes. Beautiful limousine over there. It's a Hornet, you feel right at home on it. Everything works, everything clicks into place, nothing fancy. It gets the job done, and it's a very reliable workhorse. We're going to go to do some twisties now, so we'll test the capabilities of my bike. But as you can see, in slow moving traffic, it performs admirably. Okay, let's get in front of these guys. They're gonna ruin everything. There we go. Hopefully, no. I was gonna say, hopefully some clear roads in front of us. And I woke up very early to do this review so that I can see and enjoy some empty roads, but it's never the case here in Malta. Let's get around it. And it's a sort of bike that you kind of forget that you're riding. It's so in tune with you. Everything works, as I said. Seamless gear shifts. As I said, the engine at around the 3.5 to 9.5 RPMs is very docile. You can never expect that it's going to do something that you're not expecting, and it's very enjoyable to see those RPMs rise up if you wish to go around the car, or you know, have a tract of open road in front of you. What can we say about brakes? This has the factory axial pump, the brake pump. As you can see from my other video, the only thing that I did was change the pad. They were very old. I think they were changed very early on during the lifetime of the bike and never changed again, which is a bit worrying because you've only got those things to stop you in case something happens. So I changed those brake pads, I refreshed the calipers, which you can find a video of in my channel. And that's it. The brakes are not the best. I'm coming from a Brembo radial system on my Cagiva, which is the next review I'll be doing, and those stop on a dime, but they are good brakes nonetheless. They are, I think, Tokiko branded, 2-piston calipers, one on either side. I believe it's a 296mm disc. After countless bleeding, I got it to a position where I feel comfortable. When I need to get on the pump, it gives me the confidence to push that tiny bit more. And I will take this opportunity to remind you that what I'm doing is a hobby. But if you appreciate any of the content that I'm doing, don't forget to like and subscribe for the algorithm. It means a lot, it helps a lot, it gives me the confidence and courage to keep on going. I have some great plans for the channel later on. I am teaming up with a local motorcycle dealership here in Malta. We're going to review some bikes currently in his stock. Give you a perspective from the used market, which I love and enjoy searching for, because frankly, new things, be it cars, motorcycles, anything, it costs a lot. And the second-hand market, if you know what you're looking for, if you stick to your budget, you can find some really good bargains. So hopefully I'll be doing that next. I've already got an awesome bike lined up, but in the meantime I'm getting some miles under my belt, getting to grips with how a review works, trying to give you a first-hand experience of what's happening, and if it helps just one person, it's enough. So going back to brakes, as I said, twin disc up front, needs to stop, 100 and so horsepower middleweight, and at the back, single piston, that's his job. I'm not going to say it's particularly efficient should you trail brake on its own, but in conjunction with the front brakes, it does an awesome job. At least when we're standing on a hill, it prevents the bike from rolling back, so there's that. Nothing too shocking about it. Slippery stuff on the road over there. Always be mindful what you're doing. I'm also trying out this new test route, so I'll see if I can properly test the motorcycle in question using this route, and if needs be. What you cannot expect from such a review is, high speed, highway or freeway kind of situation. We have none here in Malta. All the roads are practically single or double lane at best. We try and make do with what we have. I have a test road which supposedly nobody would be using for commuting, so it would be a good spot to test a bit the speed of the bike. What else I can say? As I mentioned in the beginning, I had a windscreen fitted, I had some crash protections fitted as well. I installed some aesthetic fairings on the radiator support. I always thought that the visible frame over there wasn't really to my liking, so I fitted these Barracuda fairings, which according to my humble opinion they do a pretty good job. So what it's like owning this bike, As I said, it's a very reliable workhorse. I use it for commuting mostly, even on the occasional Sunday outing if I don't feel like going with my Kajiva. I think I can pretty say that whatever you ask the bike to do, it will do. It never hicked up in my almost a year of ownership, not even once. It had some small jobs and odd jobs here and there because I don't think it was very well taken care of by the previous owners. So I tried to spice it up, spruce it up, so it can be the best version of the bike. Okay. We have to take a small detour. Okay, we found a way out. Obviously on the one tracked off road that I wish to try something on. It is close, but hey. And you'll hear me say this a lot. Welcome to Malta, yes. A bit of open road finally. And it picks up speeds at the same ratio that you're able to twist the throttle. It's very responsive. But as it is a naked bike, I believe Honda retunes the engine. It's not so peaky at the top end, which the CBR 600 is, but it has a bit of mid torque, which is always nice in an urban situation. It's a very popular bike here in Malta as well. There are a couple of examples right now for sale if you wish this experience. And as I already said, I like to thoroughly investigate and research what I'm going to buy. I'm very methodical in what I do when I need to buy something. And this turned out to be the best value for money. And also in terms of, you know, fun factor and ease of use. I don't think there is such an affordable bike which can do all these things at the same time. Okay, let's go! Let's go, learner, let's go. Blah, blah, blah. Wow, what a nice view. To believe I never properly did this tract of road. And I believe this is the road where we're going to do some high speeds. So basically this is the runway of an old abandoned airport used by the British during World War II. As you can see, it has a very nice straight. So we can do some test runs over here. Get it up to speed. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Brutal acceleration, ladies and gentlemen. That inline 4 screams. Wow, what an adrenaline rush, you guys. Let's see if we can manage to get some twists around. Keep it in the rev range. Always be mindful of these exits over here. It leans well. You try and trail brake, so you get everything on you. A lot of blind entries to corners, so not ideal, but I take my word for it that it leans good, it leans well, stays planted on the floor. I never felt that the bike is going to slide or bounce in a manner that's unpredictable. I hope you enjoyed this review. In conclusion, the Hornet is a marvelous bike. It's a dying breed. The inline 4 still screams 18 years after its release. In a world of parallel twins and emissions regulations and electronic controls and stabilizations, this is still a raw bike. You feel connected to it, it responds to every control. It's not obnoxious, doesn't have a loud exhaust or anything, even though you can just slip a Temu can at the end that it will be screaming till kingdom come. It's a perfect commuter bike, it's a perfect middleweight bike, it's a perfect starter bike as well. It is docile when you need it, it gives a punch when you need it. Let me know what you think of my choice in purchasing this bike. Let me know where I can improve in doing such reviews. As I said, big things are coming to the channel. So stick around. I appreciate if you drop a like or subscribe so you don't miss any of these reviews and any shenanigans I might be up to. That's it for now. Kurt from Gear Wrench and Rome signing out.